It's up top of
Mic check, mic check.
Still loading pistols, dog.
Mic check.
I died for 23s. So, welcome everybody to another episode of Kicking It With My Homeboy Dodger. This is actually a special edition. We are here in San Diego, California at the Strictly Lit compound. We're actually at Strictly Lit Studios right now. We're in the back. Shout out to Tony. They just gave us a cool little walkthrough. We did a little piece of content for them. You'll see it soon. I'm probably going to chop it in between. It'll be one of the commercials here. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Balls to the Walls Genetics. Shout out to Birria de Don Boni in Boyle Heights. That's 1845 East 1st Street. Shout out to Balls to the Walls Genetics. My good guy Steve, he's been with us since the beginning of the podcast and will continue to be a staple of the Kicking It With My Homeboy Dodger podcast. Shout out to you, my guy. With that being said, today, like I said, it's a special edition. I'm here with San Diego staple on the way to becoming a legend in my book. Been doing this for quite a bit. I think you've been doing it about as long as me or longer than me, fool. Professionally.
I got out when I was probably 24. So I'm 41 now.
Oh, way longer than me. You had time on me when we...
Yeah, professionally, but I was rapping since I was 9. But when I put out my first track, I was about 24. 25, fresh out of the youth authority.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to give an introduction to my guy, straight from Southeast San Diego. My homeboy always shows me the best hospitality when I'm in San Diego. It's my guy Krooks the Felon. What's up, my boy?
Shit right here posted like a motherfucking mailbox.
You already know. We had the Lungjackers had us all smacked back real quick.
Yeah, we needed a timeout.
Yeah, real quick, dog. I had me tongue-tied like Jim Carrey and Liar Liar, perro.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, dog, I've known you for some time. You've been doing the music since I could remember when we was doing it with the campaign back some years back. That's already going on 10 years, huh?
Yeah.
So before that, you're doing it probably another 10 years prior to that. But with that, I want to go all the way back. You feel me?
Yeah.
So you're born and raised in Southeast San Diego, but you're born and raised in a particular neighborhood, right? You're born and raised in Shelltown.
Yeah.
So, everybody, one thing that I definitely wanted to know coming into this is, do you know anything on the history of why they call it Shelltown?
Shit, according to some of the stories I've heard as a kid, my neighborhood is basically next to the Navy base, the fleets of the Navies. So back in the days, even to this day, I think in some of the sand behind the houses in my neighborhood, you can find seashells and shit like that, Yeah. So I think that kind of brings the name to the neighborhood, Shell Town.
Yeah.
Because it's a little small town right there, but that's particularly one of the reasons why I know that my neighborhood is named after that. To this day, you can still find shells, even if it's dirt. Some of it is that white sand shit. You can tell we're right next to the ocean type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How did your family end up when does your family end up in San Diego? Because I know we all come from the motherland, but how does Krooks' family end up in the Southeast,
In the neighborhood, my mom and them, as far as I can remember, I was probably around 5 or 6. And I know we lived there before that, because I was born in San Diego, obviously. And we moved probably for a year or two to Sacramento and shit,
Oh, that's a fun fact. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, we moved there for couple of years and then moved back after a while. But I remember my first memories was probably when I was 6, 7 years old in the neighborhood, right on the block, Goodyear Street to be exact. It was a dead end, and all my older homies resided in that motherfucker. They slung, the paisa slung, the crackheads were active. You know what I mean? It was some Hollywood shit. I've seen people get shot there at that age. paisas, the enemigos type shit, you know? Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like the homies had that block sewed up. As soon as they seen homies start running in to get their shit from their cars, the whole block ran inside their houses, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, damn, the homies got this motherfucker sewed up, so let me go run inside my house type shit, you know what I mean? Avoid these bullets, you know what I mean? But that's about it as furthest as I can remember when we ended up in the neighborhood when I was like probably like 6 or 7.
And moms and pops, they were born over here, or
Nah, my mom's and pops, they're both from Mexico. And their parents trip. My mom's parents, grandparents came from Sardinia, which is an island next to Italy. So my percentage mainly is European Italian, obviously. You know,
yeah, when you do
according
the
to
23andMe, yeah.
Yeah. So my mom's family was the first blue-eyed people in La Libertad in Tijuana. That's how kind of time lapse can give you a idea of, you know, my mom's and family's heritage there. They're really from Mexicali, but their family migrated to Tijuana, La Libertad. And then my pops and them, they're from like somewhere by Acapulco. I didn't get to meet my dad till I was like 25, I believe. My mom was on her deathbed in the foul ass fucking Hospital General in Tijuana, dying and shit, telling me, hey, I got something to tell you, you know. And I'm like, man, just, you know, relax, get some rest. And she's like, nah, the dude you thought was your father ain't your father, you know. Your dad's actually a good dude, you know. I just always ran from him because he was a ladies' man, you know what I'm saying? So after that, I told her, well, I guess I want to meet the dude, you know, since he's not like a deadbeat. He's been looking for me all my life and you barely tell me type shit. So I go meet the dude and he's an exact replica of me, or as I say, I'm an exact replica of him, but he was older. Big dude, big ears, hairy eyebrows, you know? and I ain't gonna lie, dog, I without even knowing the dude, I'm so much like him, homie, you know? Always looking out for people. I'm always looking out for like the homeless and shit like that. And I see homies from everywhere, you know what I mean? That I know that like I told you, I met your little homies when I was in YA, you know?
Yeah.
And they're good little dudes. He knows a lot of people too, type shit, you know? But yeah, man, that's
how Krooks' family ends up in the. You know what I think that's kind of speaks to why this is so much home. Yeah. Even then, because mom's home is right across the border. Either way, it's not like it's a couple.
Libertad, baby.
Yeah,
too, dog,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think that kind of speaks to why San Diego. I mean, obviously, other than being born and bred, is just it feels at home. Just this general area, you know. Yeah. So your first memories are of 6 and 7 years old, looking out the window type.
I was playing on the block.
Can I ask around what era is this? You don't have to put it
early 90s, man.
Early 90s.
I was that barefooted fucking kid with no shirt running around the block, you know. Mama yelling my motherfucking name, my middle name at that.
Dad.
Jonathan.
Now
Get your ass. Yeah, my boy, I'm keeping it 100 with you. Riding in the back of the paletero truck, busting in the paletero truck. You know, I was a badass kid, man. Shout out to the neighborhood because that's, you know, where it all started for me. Especially looking up to the older homies. That's where I get it from, you know, the hustle.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I got 2 brothers that passed away and 3 brothers that are alive. And I got 1 sister.
And all of you guys, where do you go? Excuse me.
I'm the 3rd oldest.
There you go. That's what I was gonna ask. Where
3rd oldest, and yeah, like I said, we all have different dads, except for my 4 youngest brothers. They all got the same pops.
And are all your brothers end up being from the neighborhood?
Nah, actually, me, my older brother, that's older than me right now, and my younger brother are from the neighborhood. And my sister thinks she's from the neighborhood.
Shout out to sis, fool.
Yeah, she gonna be mad. Like, what you mean?
So you're a Bebe's kid, fool. You're a wild ass little vato.
Yeah, my mom used to call me Baby Hugh.
Oh, fool! I had the same name because I was a badass, big ass little kid.
She was like, you didn't stop using diapers till after 5, motherfucker, and you were running barefooted, like little Flintstone baby. Hood, man,
How are you in school, fool?
Bad, man. I was bad. Part of why I probably got my ass beat so much, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, people could go to the Krooks the Felon. By the time the interview drops, I'll be dropping the vlog. But they could go back to the Krooks the Felon vlog, and you tell me when you drive me around the elementary, you're like, I used to ditch this all the time. Yeah. I used to ditch here all the time.
I was AWOLing before I got the junior camps and all that shit,
That's what I was about to say. I think it starts right there, right? Because eventually you end up getting busted as a youth.
Yeah.
When does that happen?
12, 13 years old.
So right when you get into middle school, is it because everybody was choosing up already?
I was before middle school, I think 12. That's why I said 12. Middle school, I had already hit the halls before middle school. Elementary, I was already in the halls.
What did you do in elementary that got you in the halls, fool?
Learned how to motherfucking drive, homie. And we were already, the homie's uncle would take us to the tow yards. Trip on this, his Theo's name was Theo Pito.
Theo Pito is crazy, my boy.
Familia from Sinaloa. This fool would take us to the junkyards at his work and teach us how to break the necks on all the Chevys, Regals, Jeep Cherokees, old school shit, What they call those years, the 84s, Jeep bodies. And all the Jeep bodies we learned, and he would time us. So we had to get quick because we were still in G rides, The owner could come out any minute. Got it down to I ain't gonna lie, the longest I ever took on breaking a neck and starting up a motherfucking Monte Carlo was probably like a minute. Boom, 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 boom. Out of there.
Can I tell you that speaking on the G rides of the 90s and shit, can I tell you that history repeats itself? You heard of that saying, right? History repeats itself. And everybody's so amazed that the Kia boys, you've been seeing the Kia boys.
The little scissor action.
Yeah, and then they do the USB and whatever, and they're like, "Oh my god, people!"
Is that really true?
Yeah,
the Kias to turn on with a USB.
Yeah, I see. If you look on TikTok, that shit is crazy. No, but then I was like, but dog, if we had cameras in the 90s, most of the old school Chevys, we could hit them bitches with a flathead, and that was our USB. Yeah, that was our USB.
That was my key, a flathead. Motherfuckers, I steal anything with that shit. Straight up. Carried one for protection and to get my ass home. I used to tell the homie, just drop me off over here, far as fuck from where I lived at. How you gonna get a ride? I'm like, you'll see me tomorrow in something clean, Or the Nissan Sentras, we used to make those master keys for them.
Oh, those were
whipping those shit. So
those were
how to
vicious.
drive those things. Stick and everything. We be in the neighborhood racing. Two Nissan Sentras right next to each other,
You know what? My bad. It wasn't the Nissan that I seen. The ones that I seen in Los were the Honda joints. Ones? The Honda joints. The Honda master keys. You seen the Honda ones?
Same key.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can turn those shits on. I remember we got to turning on the Hondas with a dipstick, the oil dipstick from the car. That's how quick, So master keys weren't nothing but shaved down keys that fit in the Nissan Sentra.
So it was joyriding.
To the home. Yeah, that was my thing, joyriding. Because I never sold the fucking car until we got to a point where the paisas were like, "Hey, I need a Camaro or anything Chevy, Monte Carlo." I was in burning rubber and SS's, all kinds of shit on me. I fucked it up, So that's how I ended up in jail the first time. 12 years old, fingerprints came on. About 52 counts of cars, I told the homies I'll take the motherfucking rap for it. You guys go home. Did my first fucking 90 days.
Where's the San Diego Juvenile Hall run?
San Diego Juvenile Hall. When I was in it was in Kearney Mesa.
Okay.
First juvenile hall, only juvenile hall out here. Now they got like East Mesa. They got another fucking spot. But the camps, I know the campo that I was in, they closed that shit down. So I don't even think there's any more camps type shit, you know?
I have my question to you is: does your school career end when you first start going to jail?
It didn't end. I graduated. I'm a system baby. I graduated in that motherfucker.
Shout out to the system though, because you show up to class, they give you hella credits.
Shout out to motherfucking Sarah Anthony High School, the motherfucking high school of juvenile hall in my days, you know.
Hell yeah. So how? Because you end up getting a YA trip, right? So what I want to know is in between the time from your first like, because we're not even getting into music, but you say you've been rapping since you were 9. But obviously, you're not giving it like any serious thought, right?
I'm just getting drunk off the little King Cobras as a kid, busting flows, you know.
And you're outside. You know, your prime age to be outside. So my question is, from about 12 till you catch your YA trip, what's happening? Like after you get out, what's happening in the street? What's happening in the world that it turns out from from a quick little joyride to something that ends up giving you some fucking years in YA. You know what I'm saying?
So that in between from then until it was probably like 4 or 5 years of some motherfucking hills, homie, up and down type shit, you know? Mom was a heroin addict. I'm basically a state baby, you know? House gets raided, mom's just slanging, fucking little brothers go to fucking CPS. Me and my sister, you end up fucking probably in juvenile hall for the next 4 or 5 years. And basically raised by the system, you know? Mom's was, like I said, strung out. We ended up fucking being bad, worse kids than your average kids, you know what I'm saying? Fueled mostly by anger, I would say, you know what I mean? And fucking being a fucking ghetto child, end up catching more cases from GTA to robbery and finally like assault, you know? Eventually I probably did 3 years in and out. They go by months on the sentences. So 150, 240, 365. After 365, the most you can do is probably like 2 years. I decided to fucking AWOL from the camp I was in. Like, fuck that. I'm not gonna let the system raise me. I gotta get out, you know? So I had just turned 17 and I had escaped. And I told myself, if I get caught this time, I'm taking off on the hoodas, you know? Straight up. Boom, I get caught. I'm in the hood, walking next to the cemetery in the neighborhood. Motherfucking gallon of gin and juice, some Tanqueray. Fuck that. And the hoodas pulled me over. Tried to arrest me for an earlier beer run type shit. And I just said, fuck it. I know I'm going back in, and this time they had already told me, you're going to CYA, sir, you know? So, in the midst of trying to get away, getting down, getting fucked up by the cops, I caught that case. Assault on 2 peace officers, along with the AWOLing from a camp.
From the previous program. And I could say, just from the stories of us having personal conversations, obviously we won't say all of them, you know what I'm saying? You had, I won't call it an interesting trip, but you definitely saw a lot and saw everything go down, right?
Yeah.
So can I ask, what is it first like when the court tells you, you know what, you're getting a YA commitment, sir?
I seen it coming.
You're like, fuck it. But at that point, you're already years of anger, you're ready. I almost feel like, right? Because at that point too, when you're coming home back from juvenile hall, how are you being received by the homies?
They're just like, since they hadn't seen me in a minute, and I stretched the fuck out from a kid, you know?
Oh, you got tall on
Yeah.
them.
Tall, fucking, look like a corn-fed baby type shit, you know? Big old fucking Niño del Rancho type shit. They were just like, God damn, you know? And I always got into it with my homies. One way or another, they didn't like me, or they didn't like my brother. Green-eyed motherfucker always taking everybody's bitch, you know? So
it's like, always the colored eye fools, huh?
Now, like, damn, I gotta fight for my brother. That's my brother.
Yeah, you always gotta fight for your brother.
Turning nothing down, and whatever problems that he got, we got, you know?
Before we go into the YA, I ask you more about YA. When do your brothers pass away?
So remember I told you I moved to the neighborhood like when we were like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
So at 7, I moved from one part of the neighborhood where I told you it was hot. The block was hot.
Yeah.
All the older homies were right there. Factors, killers, and shit like that. We moved to another part of the neighborhood called Ocean View. I live right off the boulevard too, right off the freeway. So then I think I was about 7, about to turn 8. And that was the first brother I lost. He had just turned 18, 17 going on 18. And it's my birthday month. So I just remember one day, you know, we're chilling in the pad and my mom and them get a call and they start fucking crying all loud. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Boom. Find out my brother gets killed. You know, they took him to the hospital after he got in a shootout and he couldn't get revived type shit, you know? So I'm like, going through it, dog, you know? Basically, snapped through all the shit in my room, everywhere, you know? Like, that was the first one, you know? First fucking, I guess, breakdown I had.
Was he a part of the neighborhood as well?
Nah, he was from a neighborhood called Market Street, which is on the other side of the cemetery from my neighborhood.
Yeah. And that happens when you're 7 years old.
7, turning 8. July 11th, I believe.
Rest in peace to Big Bro.
Yeah. And that fool was a factor, my boy, you know? Like, hard, took care of his family, you know? Like, he was somebody that homies would run into him, and I'd hear stories about him later on in life. I'd run into fools that did time with him. They're like, hey, fool, your brother used to knock fools out. Big boy, too, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, fool, whatever you need, you know? Your brother was my enemigo, but that fool did me a bottle, you know? Like, that fool was solid. Like, everybody knew. You know, when you're a big motherfucker in jail and you knocking shit out, motherfuckers know you. You got a reputation, you know, like not even to uphold because he was just naturally athletic and just with the shit, you know. Like I think that was my role model, to be honest with you. No motherfucking superhero, none of that shit, you know. Big Bro was the dude, homie. I wanted to grow up and be like, you know, straight up.
You do you think you didn't join Market Street because you grew up on the other side?
Hey, I'm from Shouttown. I'm from motherfucking Market Street too. When they tell me, they're like, you should have been from the hood, I was like, I got love for Market. You know, that's my family. Most of that neighborhood they're related to me. So any shit pops off, they know I'm there, you know? My little nephew, my brother's son. So my brother's son was born a week later. When my brother died, a week later, his son was born.
That's
so
crazy.
The kid automatically, turf baby, becomes little Smiley, you know?
Yeah.
My brother was Big Smiley. So that kid is the definition of a turf baby. Because he was throwing up his neighborhood before he can even fucking get out of his diapers type shit, you know? Straight up.
Yeah.
That was big bro though, and that was the first brother I lost. I wanted to be a gang member after that. After 7 years old, I was like, either I'm gonna be from Market or I'm gonna be from Shelltown. We see who wins me over. And I stayed in my neighborhood. That's why I told them when they always tell me, "Why didn't you become from Market Street?" I'm like, "Hey man,
You answered my question on that one because I was gonna say, so the cholo, the feeling of being a cholo, like when you would first see the homies outside getting their stuff, when you would see your brother, it didn't give you that feeling of, oh, I want to be like that,
yeah,
or was it till after that happened that you were like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna be like that?
yeah." Because I just seen it. It wasn't like, oh, I'm 7 years old and I see my older homies outside, you know. I
Yeah.
want to be like them type shit. Nah, I was scared, homie. Like I told you, when
Yeah.
everybody ran in when they knew shit was popping off, I was running in with them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I wasn't influenced by it, you know. I was just more like, some shit's about to go down. Let me get my little ass in the pad, you know.
Let me
I
take
get
my ass
shot,
inside.
you know, end
Yeah.
up getting hit from a stray bullet or some shit, you know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, that block, bullet holes in the walls and all kinds of shit.
No,
You know what I
we
mean?
drove past the block.
Yeah, man.
So then after you're like, nah, that's it. I'm gonna be from the hood.
When my brother passed away and they got that call, I was just like, I'm gonna be a gang member. That's what initial thought was, you know. Being
And
from my neighborhood though, I grew up there. I didn't have no other.
yeah, it's you
My
walk
older
out.
brother was from the hood first, and I'm like, we might as well say two of them, you know. I already had a family that was, like I told you, from Market, so we had enough family over there, you know. So like, I'm following in my brother's footsteps, you know. Whatever he got going on, I got going on.
And when does the second brother pass away?
2008.
That's already from after
I was in prison, my first bid in prison.
Okay, that's where I was gonna before we go into that, because that's where I was like, no, it was after the YA trip, right?
Yeah.
When you go to YA and you first hit the compound, what are you feeling like?
I didn't snap into like this. Let me fucking get my nuts in my hands type shit until I left the reception center in 2001. I remember just being like, all right, now it's time, homie. Nut up or shut up, you know? Because where you're going,
Yeah,
yeah, them stories are true.
it's the show and prove.
Yeah, yeah.
Where were you hearing the YA stories more in juvenile hall?
Yeah, it's called like the unit when you're already fucking up and you're going to go to YA, it's called 1400 or 800. You're either being tried as an adult or you're maxed out. No unit wants you. Your next step is going away. And I had already been pre-warned, you know. You exhausted all the time limits we gave you. Discharge, you caught the two officers and the fucking GTAs. They were like, they're trying to get your boy 13 years. I ended up getting six years sentence and did 4.5 and way out of them. I could have been home in 18 months, but
From
I was active,
yeah, I was about to say
know?
from all the ad charges and shit like that from the assaults.
All the fights. Yeah, assault basically, because that's
Yeah.
what they charged me with. They're like, you attacked this motherfucker.
No, I already know that they be charging you with the assaults, and that's why the homies would get stretched out.
3 to 6 months every fight.
No, I know and then a lot of the homies from that era too would get like even they would go in for like a year, 2 years, and then get the YA the whole
Extension.
7. Yeah, the whole 7. Like what?
It was better low key to max out too, because if not, they'll keep sending you to that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you max out anyways, you know. You'll end up in the same spot. It's not like prison where they'll send you to one prison and another one.
Yeah.
Nah, you went back to YTS right next to Chino.
What's up? Did you have hands when you first hit the compound?
Yeah, when my big bro was still alive, 3 months, 4 months before he died, he had put me in boxing classes. I was a shy kid though, you know, I didn't like fighting. I didn't like fighting at all until I got pushed to that limit, and I was like, I don't know if big bro knew that I was gonna get picked on because I looked like a big ass kid, you know, made fun of. But it was good that he did on me because, yeah, my first fight, I was swimming, but I was throwing haymakers. Boom, laid them motherfucker out.
Yeah.
Homies would tell me, just keep your head up, fool. And I'm like, dude, I know how to fight. Homie, I took boxing classes. I know how to motherfucking slid, counter punch, and all that.
Yeah.
It's just, I've never been in a real motherfucking fight, you know? So I would say after 3 fights, I got it down packed, you know? Straight up. I would see shit coming in slow motion, you know? I'm like, it's a motherfucking superpower, you know what I'm saying? It was easy to me afterwards.
Yeah.
So, you know?
I think like anything, repetition of anything gets you good at it, huh?
Muscle memory.
Yeah. So through the whole time, I gotta ask you, are you rapping? Like in YA? That's
I told you at 9 I had the gift, the gab.
see, but you're telling me that it's not as serious, right? Can I ask you when do you start to even have the inkling that maybe I want to put it on fucking like on a vocal track?
At 9. But I never did it until I got out of Hawaii when I was like 24.
But the whole time that's probably what
That
you were
was my
doing.
dream, dog. You know, from seeing my older brother, rest in peace, he used to fuck with the turntables. There was there was a group back in the days out here called LOD, and he used to fuck with them dudes, you know. So he would come home freestyling and shit like that, you know. And I took a liking to it, but never really started freestyling until I was like 9, when I was like hanging on the block already trying to beef in the neighborhood type shit, you know.
Yeah.
And when I remember one day some fool heard me and he was like, "Hey man, you should try that shit out. Like, you didn't write none of that." I was like, "Hell no, I could bust. You know, I know how to rhyme in fours. That's it. You know, talk about shit." And they were like, "Man, if you keep trying, you're gonna be good at that shit." You know. Lo and behold, the dude who told me, he ends up being like a DJ for Kid Frost, and I never knew it. I was like, this dude had an ear for it when he told me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
So you don't actually pursue it until after you get YA. So you're in YA, just thugging it, writing raps, getting through.
I was writing in Juvenile Hall.
Writing
12, 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I started. That's where I learned how to write.
Did
I used
you
to write poems a lot?
That's what I was about to say. When did it become? Because obviously a lot of us start off like that. You know what I'm saying?
I was listening to like Tupac, and one day I heard this dude was a poet before he was a rapper. So that shit just ignited my fuse on me, and I was like, well, let me try to rap this shit, you know?
Yeah.
And I seen how easy it was.
What makes you go, you know what? I'm finna put my shit on wax. Finally. Cause you're playing with it, obviously. You're writing your poems, now you're transferring them to raps. What makes you finally say, what's like the final, like, you know what, fuck it, let me do it?
I get out of Hawaii after being in that motherfucker for like 4.5 years. Before that, like I told you, I was still writing.
Yeah.
So from like 15, 14 till I got out of YA, I was writing. I had fucking notebooks full of shit, you know? And I lost all that shit when I got released.
That's what I was
had
going
to start from scratch.
Because
So
I remember.
I remembered flows I had mentally written down because we used to listen to Pocos Pero Locos. You remember those days?
Of course I remember Kool-Aid. Shout out Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
She back out now.
Yeah. Those nights were always like influential for us.
Yeah.
So that's when we started like a rap night in YA, where you can rap from one side of the vent, one side of the building, through the vents. You could just put your ear on there, and it was like a telephone line. Anybody that was busting that night, you can hear them clear as day. So I remember me, Shorty from Elm Street Watts, Blue from Broadway Gangster Crib, and a couple other heads that would rap, you know. We started that shit, and that was like an influence from hearing Pocos Pero Locos. And I remember I used to be like listening to the homie Shadow from San Diego, from Waptown. I be like, I'm gonna rap with that fool when I get out, you know? Because everybody was like, damn, Krooks, you got some shit. You better fucking get out of here and do something, you know? And when I touched down, when I got out of YA, my homies had a warehouse, clothing line with a studio in it, professional studio. So I busted for them fools one day, and then YA shit, either busting your rap off a desk or busting it off your chest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I busted for the homies off the chest, and them motherfuckers were like, whoever artist homie they had in the studio at the time, they were like, we need to get little Krooks action in that motherfucker. You just heard this motherfucker bust the beat and flow. Like, you know, it's time to go. I remember the homie, the first paid gig I ever had, he's like, just chill right here, fool. Boom, come out the studio like after 4 hours, you give me $100. Like, just stay here, fool. I'm gonna keep paying you, you know? Stay here. So I think that's what got me into pursuing it. Really, like you said, you know, what made you want to put it on wax? That got my first $100 bill off a motherfucking song. That was like, how would you say, mixtape shit. We were using beats that were already out there, you know?
It's somebody else's type deal.
So that's how I low-key fell in love with it. Like, man, if this shit could get me paid, then I might as well keep putting shit on wax, you know, and eventually get my own beats and learn how to fucking promote myself and, you know, get paid, like I said, you know.
From the time you first put it on wax, when do you start like going, you know what, I'm finna like get the beats, I'm finna shoot the videos, I'm finna do all that? Cause I know you get out and obviously we're outside thugging it, you know what I'm saying?
I'm still thugging it. I caught a case. Caught my enemy slipping at the gas station. I was only out for 2 weeks.
Legend has it that you were chasing that fool around.
And my dumb ass runs into a wall full of cops.
Yeah, dog.
Fucking snitch ends up telling the hoodas while I'm right there, red-handed. He's like, that was chasing me, you know, trying to kill me. So the story is like I told you, you know, I start hitting that track, homie. End up getting caught, homie, by the janitors at my old elementary school. I kept telling them, why you calling me in, homie? I've known you forever. They were like, sorry, man, it's the right thing to do. You know, shout out Brother Mac. He showed me a lot of love. You know, I still know the dude too. He was the janitor at my school.
That was your first pen trip?
No, they sent me to the county. That was my first county trip.
Fuck, you hit George Bailey?
George Bailey, man. Motherfucking Thunderdome.
What's George Bailey like in the mid-2000s?
You know, just check y'all out. You fucking up. Fools getting blasted. Really no riots because we always outnumbered it, you know. The blacks like 3-4 to 1 type shit. But it was active.
Yeah.
More structure from what I hear.
Nah, one thing I know for sure is definitely like in the mid-2000s, the system, regardless, you already know how LA County was rocking in that time. So I know it was a little bit more of a vicious time in the system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you catch what's George Bailey like for you? I mean, but at this point, this is same show, just a different rodeo?
YH probably the most active place I've ever been to. Not to talk down on the pen, but actively.
Well, I guess getting off daily, right?
Yeah, homie, fighting daily. Who's getting sliced here and there. You know, just on your toes more.
Yeah.
Prison is more deadly, I would say, you know. But as far as active, like shit cracking off every day. I was on my toes every day in white.
Yeah. So you go to George Bailey, and then when you come home, do you go back into making music?
Yeah. Trying to. I think the homies saw me as like a fuck up. we ain't gonna put no feria into this fool. He's gonna keep getting locked up. You know, he keep having cases, probation violations. I'm in and out still. That's what ended up leading me to my first prison case. You know.
Yeah.
So they're like, this was a fuck up. I ended up going to a home studio. My homie had a little studio at his pad.
Yeah.
I'm putting out harder shit than the homies had at their professional shit. The homies started coming to hit me up. What's up? No, I'm like, yeah, what's up now? You heard my shit, huh? You know my shit's gonna be hard, you know? Nah, no, it ain't nothing like that. No, I know it's like that, homie. You fools wouldn't fuck with me a day in the life, homie. But you hear this gangbanging shit I'm putting out, and it's harder than the shit you guys got. Yeah. That's for sure, you know? So the homies start flocking, and next thing you know, it's a group of us type shit, you know? Trying to get on. Talking about fuck that other spot, you know? The older homies were acting funny type shit. Just get our own shit cracking, you know? So yeah, like every other musician, I was part of a motherfucking trio or a campaign like you guys had, you know? But eventually, just like a motherfucking group, everybody got to go do their own shit. Yeah.
So now everybody's doing their own shit. So what ends up leading to the first pen trip? Because I think we don't run into each other till the campaign, but that's already after you came home from the pen, right?
Yeah.
That's already by like your second trip, right?
That was my first trip.
Yeah.
I only been to the pen one
there
time.
You go. But I know it was right after. I didn't.
Yeah, I got out in 2009, 2010.
Yeah, because we didn't run into each other until about what, 2013, 2012?
Yeah.
2012, 2013. So what leads up to the first pen trip, fool? Or to the only one.
Exhausted my fucking YA violations. I caught that case with my enemies. They had gave me probation.
And hella violations.
They ended up giving me a joint suspension at the last one. They're like, look, fuck all that. You fuck up again, you going to the pen 3 years. I fucked up. They kept telling me you can't smoke weed, and I was like, be damn if I can't, motherfucker. You got to violate me. You know, like the TikTok says that I quit. You fired me. You can't smoke weed in this motherfucker. All right, well, that's like saying I'm fired, motherfucker. I'm gone, you know? Yeah, they ended up sending me. I got lucky and stayed right here in Donovan. One of the homies that was in the 3-yard pulled me over. And I ended up staying in that motherfucker, homie. So it was a level 3. First fucking penitentiary did. Kicked off 2 riots in one day. I'm a YA baby, man. You know, I don't tolerate disrespect. And the homie's like, you can't do that here, dog. You gotta think about all the camaradas, you know? And I was like, well, now I know. But either way, the white boy was in the wrong for turning the TV off on me. You know? Boom, boom. Less than 10 seconds had laid all the white boys out next to me. The homies were like, what the fuck? Like I told you, I had no, you know, squabbles. So motherfuckers are like, in 3 moves, I put down 2 white boys, homie. So they were like, this motherfucker had action figure. You know? But I had to show the homies, like, I'm a YA baby, homie. I feel like sometimes I gotta prove myself, you know? And I'm way past that shit now, you know? But still, if I'm in a new environment, I feel like I gotta roar type shit, you know what I'm saying? I gotta let out my motherfucking lion just to prove I'm one of them motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's a testament to anybody that grows up in the gutter. You gotta lay down a demo for motherfuckers to respect you, you know what I'm saying?
Give me 50 feet.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
50 feet, motherfucker. Straight up.
Do you think it took the prison term to calm you down a little bit?
Yeah, because I didn't have no lecha like that, man. You know, I wasn't thinking about everybody else's time and program, how they want to go home. You know, I came from YA. There's a saying in YA when I was there, nos vale verga la vida. We don't give a fuck about life.
Yeah.
So why am I gonna care about when you're going home? If I don't know when I'm going home, motherfucker, you know, we active in this motherfucker. So it took an older homie, the homie with the keys in there, laced me up, told me, yeah, think about all the homies, dog. You know, you putting us all in the crossfire. Not to say we're not down to ride with you. Come on now, you know, you're not by yourself no more, you know? That's why we have these rules and regulations. I mean, like, we look out for our people. There's a kitty right there. Kitties for the homies that don't have shit, you know? That's what I mean by looking out for the homies, you know? We think about you guys. So, it took that to make me think about others type shit, you know? Then I kind of got like a little bit more calm type shit, you know what I'm saying? And then that's when I lost my little brother. So I think that shit changed me, not only because I had built up anger when I found out, but I was like, I'm sitting in this motherfucker, I can't do nothing, homie, you know? He's already gone, they ain't no bringing him back. I'm just gonna ponder, you know, master plan, homie. And I do remember, dog, one of the lifers in there told me, I know what you're thinking. He was like, guess what? He's like, that shit happened to my brother, and guess what I did? That I got out, smoked the motherfucker that killed my brother, and look at where I'm at now. And he was solid on me. He was just a Christian that the homies respected, you know, because he would still jump, homie. If shit cracked off, he would still jump.
Yeah.
He was all for the people, but he was more like, he'll give you that advice. I mean, you know, you need it. And that shit, it calmed me down, dog, to be honest with you. Because I just wanted to get out and get to work. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Unleash the havoc. Did your younger brother also pass away from gang violence?
Yeah. Both of my brothers, dog, believe it or not, the oldest one had a shootout, died banging it out. And my little brother told the dude who smoked him, if you're going to pull that shit out, you better pull the trigger. And the dude pulled the trigger, you know? He was in a coma. My family decided to pull the cord, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes I had a feeling, in my opinion, was keep him plugged up because he can snap out of it, you know? I've seen homies get shot in the head and come out the comas, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't think my brother was that kind of candidate, you know? When he got shot in the head, he was already arrested. My mom and them trying to keep him alive was like, that's fucked up, you know?
Yeah. Less suffering.
Yeah, so that was 2008. Lost my second brother to gangbanging.
Can I ask you, do you think that was your biggest takeaway from prison as far as thinking of others? Because I think that was like a very key thing that you just said. Like prior to that, I've never thought about others.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you learn some shit, you know, especially if you're willing to learn. There's homies that just don't give a fuck, you know? But I've always been a quick learner and somebody who I think of others before me type shit, you know? It's just certain situations I had to react type shit, you know? But other than that, yeah, you know, I thought about shit, you know?
Nah, for sure. Can I ask you, what's one thing that you could tell me about prison that people may not understand? Because, you know, you get this thing on the internet. You already know I'm a part of this universe and the YouTube yada, and everybody has this like sentiment or what is it, a vision of what prison is like, or you know what I'm saying? And everybody has an opinion on it, but what do you...
I mean, what I can tell motherfuckers what it's gonna be like before they experience it, you're gonna have to learn on your own. I can tell you what it's like, but your experience is gonna be not what you thought. You know, straight up. Might go down and might not. You might have a smooth trip. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna go down. You know, straight up. Unless even on the PC orders, it goes down. You know, so there ain't no.
They're sticking. Yeah,
life,
no.
You're gonna experience something for sure.
No, even speaking on that, the recent shit we've been seeing in the news, the PC yards have been going crazy. Yeah,
they going up, but they got their own PC gangs now. You
yeah,
know? So
no,
it's like,
shit's crazy. That's definitely crazy to see from the time that you did time to now to see how that's a whole nother conversation for a different time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, shit changes, man. You know, it's like eras.
Yeah,
that's why they call them that. You know, because it was like this when you were there. It was like that after. It changes. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a wave, basically. You know,
kind of going back to like
the rules stay the same. It's just different shit pops off. You know what I mean?
So when you get out of prison, you have, I guess, a humbling experience altogether, right? Because you come back an honestly changed man. You know, different from when you went in, kind of like crossing over to a boy from a man type deal. You know, what are your plans? Obviously, from aside from the normal hood, you know, the felon plan. You know what I'm saying? Getting out, getting me a good meal, going to see my hyena or going to see a hyena. You know what I'm saying? What were your plans like when you were about to parole?
Shit, honestly, just get into the music shit, you know, to try to keep me out of trouble. Cause I know that was like a kid playing on his PlayStation nowadays, you know, get stuck on something, so I don't get into no shit, you know what I mean? So I already know I ain't got nowhere to go. My sister's house was always the one to go to, you know.
Yeah.
She's gonna let me live there. She ain't gonna let me stay on the streets, you know. Shout out my little sister. She put up with a lot of my shit. So end up paroling to my sister's pad. My sister went through some shit when my little brother died. Before I got out of prison, she was there holding him when he died. So I'm trying to put myself in her shoes and show her certain kind of love, you know what I mean? Like, I don't wish that on nobody, you know? And I know she deals with it till this day. So I'm trying to be more tender with her, you know, and shit like that, like respect what she got going on at the time, you know? But at the same time, the fucking fire burning in my heart is like, I want to get out there and put in work, homie, you know? I ain't gonna let that shit slide, you know what I'm saying? Like, but, you know, time heals all wounds on me, and I still ain't got over it, but the only fact I got over is that I can't bring them back, you know? It happens. You live by the gun, you gonna die by the gun, and motherfuckers don't experience shit like that unless you really a block monster type shit, you know? I don't speak on a lot of that shit, but you gotta know, you know? Shout out to the homies that have lost family to gangbanging, because they know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? It's only we know type shit, you know? Yeah, homies lose homies, but it ain't nothing like losing your own family member to the shit, you know what I'm saying? It's different. Some homies will forget about you once you in the grave type shit, you know?
Yeah.
Your family, they're always gonna have to fucking remember you.
I've definitely seen how it turned the meekest of a gang member into a savage killer, getting put into that situation, you know what I'm saying? So when you get out, you start making a lot more music, fool. When do you get to it? That's what I'm saying. I get to it. So what's the first order of business?
Find a studio and get into the motherfucking music, dog, you know?
I know you got cracking right away. So what's the first songs you start putting out into at that point, what are you uploading them at? Because I was a SoundCloud baby. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm a SoundCloud baby, fool.
After I had my shit on there, all my mixtape shit.
Yeah.
The homies are like, that shit was harder than what you got right now. I was a demon, homie. I'm rapping about the shit I'm going through, you know?
Yeah. So you start putting all your stuff on SoundCloud, right? And then do you start putting out projects? When does the first project come out? And then when do I run into you? Because I don't run into you till like the Latin Beast era, fool, which is like
Yeah,
2012,
20, 2015.
right?
That's when I first met Latin B. And I got put on by a young drummer boy to them.
How you get the relationship with drummer?
My nephew, my brother, rest in peace, his son tells me, hey, check it out, fool, this fool, drummer boy, King Lil G, these fools are hot, you know?
Yeah.
You should reach out, you know? And I'm already, at the time, I'm serving. I got a little water in my pocket, you know what I mean? He's like, Theo, you should rap with this fool. Boom, I hit homeboy up, what's up, man? How much for the feature? Whoop-de-whoop. Boom, get that shit locked in, and next thing you know, I'm somewhere in by his neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was in Pomona, but the homie's name was Young Bless. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Yeah.
He used to rap with Young Drummer Boy. It was at his studio at his pad.
Yeah. He just came back. He went Young Bless. No, I'm talking about Jay. That was Jay Bless that I'm thinking
Young
about.
Bless.
Yeah.
Another homie, he was hard too.
Yeah.
That's how I run into Drummer Boy in our first track called Hop Out. Latin Beast TV exclusive.
Is that what he told you after you guys got it done and you guys shot the video?
Yeah, we shot a video to it. He told me, hey, this is this fucking homie channel Latin Beast TV.
Yes.
We'll release that shit, you know, and you get exposure like that. He's like, the homie's channel's cracking, you know. Shout out Tones Latin Beast TV.
Yeah, shout out Tones.
Put the homies on, you know.
I don't think people speak enough about that era. A lot of the people that quote unquote got a voice now came through it. Like mostly everybody came through. They
don't give the homie his props, you know.
Yeah,
I hear fools talk down on him, but the dude he's a fucking with the paisas in where I'm from in Tijuana's like to call Paso de Oro, homie.
Hell yeah.
You know, he's a golden chip, homie. He's put homies on. We might have some differences with some people, but like you said, if it wasn't for Latin Beast TV, a lot of homies wouldn't have a voice.
I think also it kind of laid the blueprint of what a lot of like the blog sites are. Fool, the you know, the Whoop Wop, and I don't want to say that fool's name. You already know.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? Like You Ain't Hard Fool and all those type of blog contents.
Yeah.
Where you put your content through them, get you some exposure, and you know what I mean? And I think it kind of laid the blueprint to a lot of what's going on now.
For a lot of homies that be podcasting and shit like that, interviews.
Yeah. Because I think they were doing a lot of the first like rapper in their neighborhood interviews too. Remember when they did the stuff with Chapo and everybody? Yeah. All right. So I think you put out a couple of videos on Latin Beast. Right?
Yeah.
So I think I don't run into you till like the third one, fool.
I don't even remember which one.
Yeah, that's so.
I put a lot of my shit.
Yeah.
Like I said, I built a good relationship with the homie, and he showed me love, though. You know.
No, and you kept putting it out. Did you? You know what? Did you ever put out a project in like in its entirety, like put together your own project? I don't want to like. Singles. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Singles, yeah.
And but not like
albums, nothing like that. Yeah. My first album I did was in 2017, and it was with a homie of mine's called Dice One. He has a clothing line too. I'm sure you guys heard about it. Shout out to homie Dice One from the neighborhood and shit. You know, pretty big. The graffiti artist with a clothing line type shit. You know.
That's what I was gonna ask, because I know you had the project out, but for the most part, you were running singles. You were the single. That was also a blueprint that a lot of people weren't doing. Yeah. That was some early shit that you were on.
I had to. I kept telling Drummer Boy, I'm gonna drop one every month if I can. On me, you know.
Hell yeah.
He was like, hell nah, you know. I don't think anybody believed the motherfucker was gonna keep coming like that, you know, because independently, it should take sweat out to put your own shit out, you know.
Fuck yeah.
I'm a dope boy though. I know how to make the shit rise, you know what I'm saying? Turn my 10 stack into 20s.
You know what? I think sentiment to gutter babies like you and me, we can make shit stretch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We make it stretch for sure. So then you start going crazy, fool, and then obviously we run into each other's shows here and there. Obviously, I would be down here with the campaign and all that shit, and obviously Eyekon was shooting your videos. Shout out to Eyekon, by the way. Every time I already know the story, but we're not gonna say that one. You know what I'm saying? But shout out Eyekon. He just shot everybody in their mama's videos. He knows everybody. I told that fool he's like me. If you don't know everybody, you know every other person. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he even told me a couple of times he came to my neighborhood and shot some videos for somebody else, and I was like, oh, so you been to the neighborhood, you know? Because I was always shooting shit either in L.A. or a different part of San Diego type shit, you know? I never went because of that case I caught with the police.
There, especially
like on an injunction, I can't be in the neighborhood, you know. So I didn't want to get hassled in the middle of my video, so I never brought Eyekon, you know. But we always worked outside of my neighborhood type shit, you know.
Yeah.
But good work, man. You know, he shot my first video with the DJ Battle Cat. Shout out to DJ Battle Cat too, man. That was a historic moment for myself, you know. I like to think I was the first Southsider to work with Homeboy, you know.
Yeah.
And that was a motherfucking a finish line for me too, you know. Because after I hit the first million views on Latin Beast TV with the homie G-Man, All This Game, I was like, my next fucking bucket list to scratch off is work with DJ Battle Cat, you know. And I ain't gonna lie, homie, I remember not sleeping, knowing something big was gonna happen, and boom, I hit the million views because it was on my bucket list. And then the shit, it was like one of those 11:11 moments, 1:11. I kept looking at the time. I couldn't sleep at night because I was like expecting something big to happen.
Yeah.
And then the DJ Battle Cat shit happened. I was like, I don't know what to do, homie. I was stuck in like the limelight, you know, like for a moment, dog. I didn't know how to promote myself after that. Like I couldn't believe it, homie. I was in shock. Like, I need to do something, and being an independent artist, I didn't have no money behind me to keep me going, you know? All I had was the change I was going to use to keep going myself. So I think that was like where I hit this situation where I had ran out of funds. I couldn't go do nothing besides keep doing music. I needed more money to put out another video type shit, you know? So I stalled, and I fucked up. I should have found an investor to put out videos for me, you know? So I kind of like for 2 years just worked on music. I didn't stop working. I just didn't come back out with anything, you know?
Yeah.
I was more entwined in hustling, homie. The hustle was paying me more than me spending money doing tracks, you know? So I got stuck building my own empire, as you want to say, you know, like getting money right there, boom. And I fucked up, homie. I should have used that motherfucking fire that was lit, you know, from the million views, the first video, to working with Battle Cat. There was a fall off there. Some hyena tried to manage me. That's who was paying my shit, you know. And she basically borrowed some feria without me knowing. They came looking for her, and that's how I found out she had paid for all the DJ Battle Cat shit, you know. And I was like, that's why I didn't want to sign to nobody, homie, because I didn't want to get fucked over in the end, you know. So that kind of like it threw a wrench in my shit, dog, straight up, you know. And I like to say, you know, I'm back where I started, and I got a fucking folder full of shit, you know what I mean? Now all I need is this motherfucking bread, handle some legal matters that I got going on right now, you know?
Oh, dog.
Yeah, and
talk about viral, first of all. Can I just honestly, I don't want you saying too much, but I'm gonna cut in a little bit, if you don't mind, of the security footage from the crib.
Yeah, from the ring.
So I come the last time, And my boy's like, man, you know that something happened. Check this out. And then flash forward to you getting raided, my boy, and then them bringing you out in your draws, my boy. I was like, nah, why they get no? What's going on, fool?
Yeah. They fucking raided the pad, man. That's all I can say, you know. And then I got some footage of that shit. Of what happens to motherfuckers that get caught in raids, you know.
Yeah.
Get caught in the bullshit, you know. We can't help it. You know, if they're coming, they're coming. You know.
That's what I'm saying.
And like you said, we gonna give them a little footage of what it's like, you know.
I'm seeing them green suits pop in, dog.
The Ninja Turtles.
Yup.
They don't fuck around. Don't.
Coming towards the first officer going to see.
No, I already know. But one thing's good, it's looking like on the up and up. You know, we did a little bit of praying, so it's looking like you're gonna be able to drop some more content coming on, you know? And you definitely been working. I know you stay with a folder full of shit you haven't released, shit that you're currently working on, shit that you've been doing. One thing, can I tell you? I like the joint you did with the nephew.
The new shit, tough guy.
Yeah. That's one of my when you started hitting that dance, perro. That was my favorite. Hey, cut to the Krooks dance. Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's just getting jiggy with it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, dog.
Not much to it, but to do it.
So, now that you're working again and putting stuff out, one thing that going into the Young Rich thing, one thing I definitely got to ask you about, because obviously you're from my era, right? And we tapped in with the older generation of where we come from. Obviously, you tapped in with Shadow, like you said. You tapped in with some of the older gentlemen from the older rappers from San Diego area, correct?
Yeah.
So, what do you think about this new generation coming up, fool?
I mean, you know, I've never been no hater. No much love to what they're doing, you know.
Yeah.
Some I'd like to say are watered down, you know. They just take their talent for what it is, you know. But I don't promote violence anymore, you know. I don't want you to act like no tough guy for real and go get a reputation so that you can be a star rapper. Hey man, just use your talent, you know. And I like to say a lot of them are big on talent. I mean, you know, they doing a lot of good shit and they helping their families out. That's what it's all about, you know. Yeah, you might not be the hardest rapper, you know. You see with the little Dirks and the little Whoopty Wops, you see the case they're catching for being a real motherfucker behind having talent, you know. But yeah, man, I see a lot of talent, you know, and blessings on me because we didn't have that, you know. We didn't have the homies telling us, "I'm gonna look out for you. I'm gonna take you under the wing. I'm gonna make sure nothing happens to you." All we had was a sack because we were slanging for the homies, a gun because we were patrolling for the set, you know. We had to build that reputation if we wanted to get put on. That was it, you know. Nowadays, like anybody can be from anywhere, and you got talent, you getting taken under the wing, you know. It's as simple as that, my boy, you know. But I come from the old school. I teach minds, you know, earn your keep, you know what I'm saying? Don't be like these other fools that think they're gonna get a free ride type shit. Hell nah. Stay away from here with that shit. Straight up.
We definitely got to give a shout out to Nephew Rich. Shout out Young Rich. That's my guy right there. Rich, Free Big Grizz, obviously. You know, always that we stay yelling that. You know.
Free Big Jizzle.
Yeah, Free Big Grizz. So what are your plans with the music shit going on now?
I mean, I always have a passion for it, you know, so I'm always gonna do music. But like I told you, you know, following these legal matters, I'm gonna just be like a manager, I guess, get my own record label and put homies on, you know.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Well, that's good. Have we come up with a name?
Not yet, but we gonna get there.
One thing I definitely got to shout out is Lung Jackers, Big Don. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the first and the worst, like the homie like to say.
Yeah.
The homie fully.
Yeah.
It's a unique weed brand, you know, from the streets. The name itself tells you we ain't pushing no booth. We
Yeah.
stealing clients. We jacking lungs. Trying to give motherfuckers the best quality, you know?
Hell yeah.
That top rock. Make the dolphins line up around the block type shit, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's a collaboration I got with the homie Strictly Lit. Shout out to homie Tony Lit.
Yeah.
Shout out to homies too from We Know First Media, the homie G Mun, the entrepreneur too, you know. Got a lot of businesses. He's one of my producers as well. Beat makers. And yeah, man, we're gonna get to it, you know. It's time to venture to something else too, you know.
Yeah, no.
Big.
I'm already knowing. I think that's good that you're pursuing the business route of the music industry, because I think regardless, that's just your aura of businessman. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we can't run all the plays, you know? So we all got to focus on the right things. You feel me?
Something got to give, you know?
You feel me? But with that, dog, I just want to say thank you always for, you know, receiving me with open arms, my boy. I really
show love. You already know, man. Like I said, I always show love to my people. You know, that's one thing I learned. Yeah. You know, we gotta unite as a big one. You know.
No, that's for sure. That's how I like to live my life. You know, I don't really like the whole grouping up like we're in high school, dog. You know what I'm saying?
No fucking gossiping, none of that shit. You know, everybody can eat, and we can all get to it. You know.
Yeah, dog. So, with that being said, I just want to say thank you, dog, for showing me love. Thank you for, you know, rolling out the blue carpet for me and the homie.
Shit, thank you for even coming down here to interview a motherfucker. You
know, that's mandatory, dog.
That's appreciated right there in itself, dog, you know.
On me. But with that, bro, again, thank you for always rolling out the blue carpet for me, you know, from the last time. They're gonna see before the interview pops up, they're gonna see the vlog come out first. Cause you're the end of season 2, actually. This is how we end season 2.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With my good Dago family. With that being said, this has been another episode of, actually, before I even go there, is there anything, what are you gonna drop pretty soon?
Well, shit, I got a lot of motherfucking music coming, and we got some shit, you know. Me, you, and your little homie, Fully.
You already know.
We got that. We gonna title it "How to Slide."
Yeah,
you know, it's a banger. I don't think they ready for it.
Shout out Sean Scope.
Shout out Sean Scope, man.
Dog, shout out Sean Scope, dog. For sure, we're gonna go shoot that video somewhere in the Los Angeles area, maybe. Maybe not. We don't know. We'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Due to legal priorities and purposes. But with that being said, dog, thank you so much. Shout out to all of our sponsors, the regular sponsors of the Eyekon TV channel, Cookies, Vibes, Shaka, you know, Honey Packs, the good stuff. Shout out to my personal sponsors, Balls to the Walls Genetics. Shout out to Birreria Don Boni, 1845 East 1st Street in the city of Boyle Heights. And then shout out to everybody that's been following my journey. Make sure you follow me at my homeboy Dodger. Make sure you follow the homie at Krooks with a Felon 619. Make sure you follow the homie Fooly too. Fooly the first. Fooly THA 1ST. 1ST. And with that being said, this episode was powered by Strictly Lit. We're reporting live from the Strictly Lit studios. Is there any shout outs you want to give before we wrap it up?
Shout out to all the fans, man. You know, supporting your boy through all this time. You know I took a little break. Family issues, you know, lost moms and shit like that. But like I said, homie, I'm back and there ain't no stopping, you know what I mean?
full gas ahead, no?
Full power ahead, Mack truck, motherfucking subterranean train. But yeah, man, shout out to all the people I'm fucking with too as well. Shout out to Strictly Lit. Shout out to G Mun. Shout out to Still Thuggin', you know, because we out here still thugging.
Yeah.
And like I said, stay tuned for the Lungjacker Strictly Lit brand coming to a motherfucking lung near you. And that's about it, man.
Stay tuned for the Teach You How to Slide video coming soon and the audio to drop pretty soon. Produced by Sean Scope. Actually mixed, mastered, recorded by Sean Scope. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. Obviously, my boy, anything you ever need, you already know I'm always a call away, my boy.
Yeah, I appreciate that, my boy.
You already know, dog. We're waiting when you could finally make your travels up top. You already know. Just let us know when you land. We got you.
Yeah.
With that being said, thank you, everybody, and we out of here.